Amen. Amen.
I just three, I don't do sleep. Yeah, tryna see, UV. Yeah, we gon' fall through, coming through deep.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, packed it from the south, moved it to the west. Iced the logo on the cross, threw it on my neck. Yeah, when I rep the set, gotta stay blessed. Yeah.
Amen. Amen. People tryna say I'm on the enemy. Got a code with my dogs, can't get in between. I can give them life, no more energy. Amen. Amen.
Man, put him into me. Everybody trying to take the identity. Everybody around me turn to a friend of me. Sit back while I take on the remedy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Ahead, we'll see two of the most dangerous guys in the NFL coming off the edge. It's Vic Beasley and J.J. Watt.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene from a few moments ago, this crowd enthusiastically cheering on their Texans as they emerge from the locker room. And we're just about ready for football as the Texans get set to match up with Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. This is Lamar Miller. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. And they're behind the sticks here a bit now, dealing with a 2nd and 12. From Miller. Now Watson escaping the pressure right. Now he's trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant, and he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. And some extras coming up on the line here, readying for the blitz. And he's got Rome, the 20. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
Well, plenty of credit has to go to the guy carrying the ball. He broke the tackle and gained the yardage. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the defender's bad. They're not going to make 100% of the tackles all the time. Even the best in the game will miss one occasionally. The key is not to let it snowball and miss tackle after tackle. On that play, credit to the offense, but that doesn't make the defense bad.
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman, 14 yards. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. Well, Devontae Freeman scored the first points of Super Bowl 51, and he's got the first points here as he's in for 6.
And I don't want to be snarky here. It's going to come off that way a little bit, but that didn't work out so well for them in Super Bowl 51 against New England when he scored the first touchdown in that game. But I like what they've started with here. Now, here's the thing about Freeman. I love his game. Can run it inside, can get to the perimeter, can catch the football, pass protects, has an incredible passion for the game.
Well, before the possession switches here, I had written down that I wanted to talk about some of the awards this past season in the NFL. We know Brady was the MVP, but Todd Gurley, Offensive Player of the Year.
How about that for a bounce back? Many were questioning whether he'd had a sophomore slump the season before. Didn't even get to 1,000 yards. Was a dominant force in 2017. How about his teammate Aaron Donald on the defensive side? He took home Defensive Player of the Year award.
Yeah, very impressive. They had both sides of the ball. Sean McVay deserving, I think you would agree, of Coach of the Year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what he did for the Rams when they went from last in the league in scoring to leading the league in scoring and winning a division title. And how about the New Orleans Saints? Rookie of the Year, offense and defense. Alvin Kamara on offense, Marshawn Lattimore on defense.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Watson hands to Miller on the draw. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Let's go.
Back to throw, Watson. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Adrian Claiborne coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. On 4th down, here's the veteran Shane Leckler to punt it away. Back deep here, Andre Roberts. This is taken at the 23. We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Falcons taking over on offense in just a second. And, you know, this year ended in disappointing fashion now. Last year was the ultimate version of heartbreak. But if you're a Falcon fan, was this one was tough to swallow as well, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because let's be honest about it. Losing in the Super Bowl, I don't care how you lose, you're in the Super Bowl. You're playing for it all. This team was supposed to be as good or better. Ultimately ended up 10-6, found their way in the playoffs, but didn't get the deep run as they had the year before. So you're exactly right. For Falcons fans, that's a tough one. But this is a team that's built to be good for a long time.
And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Well, at least he was able to break that initial contact, or it could have been a loss.
Yeah, give credit to the defensive player, though. What did he do? Made him slow down, slow up his feet, and allowed the rest of the guys to get there to finish him off.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. They wind up losing a yard on the play, and they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
Let's go.
And he's got some space here. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves him looking at a 4th down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here, because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Looks like Ryan's going to stay out there. Indeed, they're going to try for this on 4th down. And boy, is he close. Did he get there? No, they're going to say he's short of the line to gain. Dan Quinn's guys unable to come through there on 4th down. And this Texans defense stands tall.
Charles, let's step into a conversation about Houston in 2017 as their offense comes back onto the field here. But just 1-9 in their last 10 games, finished 4-12. You and I know, though, injuries really ravaged this team.
Absolutely destroyed this team. And look, we focus on Deshaun Watson, the quarterback, and rightly so. He was probably going to be the rookie of the year. But when it started for injuries, it was defense. J.J. Watt, perennial all-pro, goes out early. Whitney Merciless, double-digit sack guy out. Brian Cushing, starting linebacker, out. When you start totaling up the injuries they had through the year, it's almost amazing that they made it through the entire season able to play the schedule. So that's what you're looking at with the Texans, who have been a defense-first team. If they can get everyone back healthy, playing to their level, and get Deshaun Watson back sparking the offense, optimism will be high in 2018.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And now a fumble. The ball's out, and the Falcons grab it. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line.
CD, I want to get your thoughts on some potential free agents this offseason before we change the possession here. Now, caution, many of these guys could be re-signed, I know, but who are some of them? Kirk Cousins is one.
Yeah, we're talking about difference makers. Kirk Cousins at the quarterback position. He's going to be coveted around the league by quarterback-needy teams. Case Keenum had a big year. Could he move? But how about running backs? Le'Veon Bell, Dion Lewis, some pass catchers, Jimmy Graham, Jarvis Landry, Sammy Watkins. And about the guy who goes and gets quarterbacks, DeMarcus Lawrence had a monster year for Dallas last season.
Yeah, a lot of big names that could be out there as free agents.
Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. J.J. Watt in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Ryan. He's got Sanu. He got 29 yards that time. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
The Falcons averaged 34 points a game last year, tops in the NFL with that powerful offense. And they're already looking for more here as they've got it 1st and 10. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Falcons will extend their lead. And it's good to make it 14-0. Here's Bosher to kick it away. Here comes Bruce Ellington on the return. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25.
I want to give a hat tip real quick, Charles, to J.J. Watt before the possession switches here. Walter Payton, NFL Man of the Year. They totaled up how much he helped raise for hurricane relief, $37 million.
Incredible. Hurricane Harvey, which really hit the Houston area in a big way, and his original goal was $200,000. So congratulations to J.J. Watt.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Vic Beasley coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. On 2nd down, here's Miller. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. He's able to get 4 back on the run, but now they'll have to find something here on 3rd and about 14.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Third and long, it's Watson. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. And they'll get it all the way out near midfield to the 45. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Two minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout.
Come on, let's go. 190. 190. Flex round. Flex round.
To throw on second is Watson. Flush to his right. He's letting this one go for Fuller. That's caught inside the 20. And he takes it down deep into Atlanta territory. They give him a gain of 37. And the young buck showing that ability, that agility to dance outside of the pocket, complete the deep ball.
And don't think for a second that the coaching staff didn't have their heart rate accelerate a little bit there, right? Anytime you have those young quarterbacks and they get outside of the pocket, you're just hoping that they make good decisions because so many things can happen that can go wrong when you throw it downfield like that. He got away with it there and in a big way.
Here we go. Flex round. Flex round.
Here's Watson now on second down, eluding the pressure right. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. Steps away to his left. And that is incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job here to force an incompletion.
And his kick is right there. It's good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. Certainly their offense has sputtered here a little bit in the first half as they finally do get on the board, but they only have 3.
Well, at least it eases the frustration a bit, doesn't it? To be able to get some points on the board, feel a little bit better about themselves as they go into the locker room and try and regroup.
Before the offense changes hands here, let's look back at the Super Bowl February 5th. What a game. I know you were there calling it offensively, though. Impressive on both sides.
It certainly was, and let's face it, if you're in Minnesota, it's cold outside, but you talk about the offenses, they heated up in a big way. And how about Nick Foles? The backup quarterback turned MVP, 373 yards, 3 touchdowns. And, of course, the big one receiving on the Philly special.
Quite a story. Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. 20, 10, and he cuts it back right, and he's got a touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Falcons will add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So the football switching hands here in just a second. And, you know, Tom Brady, just to go off on a tangent for a second, may have lost the Super Bowl. But third MVP this past season, and what he did at age 40, really something, right, Charles?
Absolutely phenomenal. Ended up beating out Todd Gurley, the running back for the Los Angeles Rams. But he would have traded it for a Super Bowl win, don't you think? How about this? The last 9 NFL MVPs to play in the Super Bowl that same season, 0-9.
Yeah.
You go all the way back to Kurt Warner in, what, 1999, where he won the double?
We were going over that stat earlier. That is hard to believe.
But he would have been the MVP had the Patriots pulled that one out.
Yeah, he still has 5 rings, though. 5 Super Bowl titles for Brady. From the gun, here's Watson. Over the middle, complete. That's Hopkins. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. On first down, Watson. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. On second down, here's Watson. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. And the Falcons going to use another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal?
Let's go.
Here's Watson. Fuller brings it in over the middle. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half.
And that was a nice catch, and if the goal was to get into field goal range, it certainly appears that they accomplished that.
Well, and sometimes that's what you dial up in these situations, right, when you want 3?
Well, if the goal was to get into field goal territory, even though it'll be a long attempt, I think they accomplished that.
And sometimes you have plays for that. It's not always a first down when you want 3, get a little bit closer, make it an easier shot.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to concede to the defense, and they know what you're trying to get done, and to try and get any more than that is almost folly. Take what you can get, maybe have an opportunity to put 3 points on the board.
We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. A little juke. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
On second down, Freeman. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
third quarter and you've got the lead, you're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Here we go.
I don't think anyone in the building fooled right there, as that one is going to blow up in their faces. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's third down now. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4. And the surge is going to be too much defensively. He's hit and taken down to the backfield. A surprising move to go for it, and predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Texans take over an excellent field position. They'll try and get the run game going. This is Miller. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
They'll run it again with Miller. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
And while there is no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it 1st and goal. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. They come out here in the eye. They'll let the power game take over with Prosh. Trying to ram his way in, but they're going to hold him back at the goal line. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. They'll toss it to Miller. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller punching it in from a yard away. And the Texans get a bit closer. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
And here now come the Falcons. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Doesn't matter who you're rooting for in this game. The effort of the man with the football, getting away from one and trying to turn forward and get some yardage, I really liked what he did there.
Back now in Houston, it's the Falcons. They've got the football. They've got the lead as we get set to start the 4th. And they still need 8 yards for the first here on 2nd down. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. He's airing it out for Sanu. And that's caught inside the 30. A gain of 32 that time.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield. Those guys made that play possible.
And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
Let's go.
The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? You just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also...
And Freeman lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. On 3rd down, Devontae Freeman. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Falcons will extend their lead. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here.
Here we go.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak, not letting blockers.
And this will be caught at the 30. And he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. A huge play there for Houston. 49 yards. On 1st and 10, Watson. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And he returns it here to his own 18-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
And some room to maneuver. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Falcons. Taylor Gabriel, 82 yards. And the Falcons will add on to their lead.
As more and more up-tempo football creeps into the NFL game, some coaches don't think time of possession matters anymore. I believe we found one of them.
And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Here's Bosher to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Heading out as the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
They begin with a run by Miller. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. Gun, Watson. This one complete. It's C.J. Fedorowicz. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. First down, it's Watson. He's going to let it fly. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant. And he will take this across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Facing this 4th quarter deficit, felt like they had to throw the ball, and on the other side, they were ready.
No doubt about it. They're playing situational football. They look at the clock. They know the lead that they have, and all they're doing is playing pass on every down.
Playing the pass, picking it off, and now big time in the driver's seat. And some room to work. And he's brought down. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he's going to go out of bounds. He takes this one down shy of the 20. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Come on, let's go! Ryan 38! Ryan 38!
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
So the defense has put them in a tough spot. It's 2nd and long. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. They get 8 yards back there. They could use another one of those now on 3rd and 7.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
One thing I know, defensive coaches love it when they don't have to invite their players to the party. This strong safety, you never have to ask him twice to help in run support. He's going to arrive and in a bad mood.
Come on, let's go.
And this is going to come up well short as they stop him on 4th down. Dan Quinn's guys unable to come through there on 4th down. And this Texans defense stands tall. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down. So the D-line's going to spread out. Watson now to throw. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Come on, let's go.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left.
Flex round. Come on, let's go.
And he'll take this for a short gain on what will prove to be the final play of this ball game.